Texas is not for everybody. In this box, I have 15 things that I have observed moving here that I absolutely think you're gonna hate. We're gonna put this box down, we're gonna go through each one of these, and I will be brutally honest and not sugarcoat any of them. Your job is to see if you can handle any of these. Number 1. Oh no. Right out of the gate, I gotta make fun of Texans. The reason I put bad service in here is because I have a theory. When you go out to eat or if you go to get your car serviced, you're gonna notice one thing about Texas people. Now, although they work incredibly hard, I think there's a little element of don't speak until spoken to. A lot of times when you go into a restaurant or you go to get your car serviced like I did, you will literally have people just kind of look at you. Once you initiate the conversation, they typically are incredibly nice, but there's something about the service. They will not talk to you until you initiate. Sorry, Texans. Number 2 on the list. Oh boy, this is the worst. I am a Northwest kid coming from the Idahos, the Montanas, the Oregons, and I thought the allergies there were the worst. Wait till you see this. So not to take every single one of these into factor, but just really the tree pollen, especially where I live, this is the gauge that they go by. 1 to 14 is low, 15 to 89 is medium, and 90 to 1500 is heavy. Anything greater than 1500 is extremely heavy. If you look, what was the highest pollen count ever? 12,500. My wife is currently battling 3 weeks of these allergies. I went through 3 weeks myself and had to go through a bunch of medication to the point where my ears hurt so bad I wanted to gouge them out. If you get attacked by allergy a lot, you may want to look out for Texas, and especially Dallas. It's ranked as the 2nd worst place to live in America if you've got allergies. Next up, let's go with number 3 here. Oh, from a mama. I am gonna get my wife on here because I didn't want to keep telling her story. So, Shadi, tell them what you've learned about Texas.
Yes, there are a few things I've noticed as being a woman in Texas. You know, you want to get your chapstick, put it on, it's all melted. You have children in the back, they need sunscreen. You know, the sunscreen bottle's expanded, maybe exploded. Your water is always hot in your car. Just don't leave anything that is melty, perishable, can melt in your car because it'll be gone. About the schools, it's interesting because in our previous states we lived in, the summers are from June to September. Texas, they're really short. The kids get 2 months tops. There are a lot of breaks during the school year too, so you have to think about that and scheduling. If you are a working mom or no one's at home to watch your kids, you have to factor that in because it's a lot of breaks during the school year, short summer break.
So we heard a first 2 or 3 from her, but I'm telling you what she talks about later in this video might be the worst thing about living here, so do not miss that. Let's get back into the box here. All right, what do we got next? Yes, outrageous power bills. When we first moved to Texas, we were not aware that it is a deregulated state. What does that mean? You have a power company right here, and then you got about 8 billion companies right here who get their hand in the pie, and they deliver that to you. That also creates what they call the most affordable energy bills, but it's really not, because if you choose the wrong plan like I did, you'll end up spending $600 to $900 a month, if not more, and that's just for a standard house. But good news for you, since I got my butt kicked with my power bills for months, if you go to energyogre.com, if you go down into my description and my pinned comment, you will get a referral code to where your first month is free. They save me hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month, and I don't have to do anything. They shop and find the perfect plan for you. If you're gonna be working from home or if you're gonna be working all day, there are specific plans catered to your lifestyle, and that's where I went wrong. So get that link down below to get your first month. You will thank me later. But if you get these, we custom ordered these. It was only $1,900 to do almost 35 of them, I think it was. This will cut down on your power bill maybe $200-300 a month. So for just a one-time investment of maybe, $1,500, your house will stay so much cooler and your AC units barely have to work compared to when you don't. All right, let's keep going through these. Next up on the list is water heaters. My goodness. I can't even tell you about how dumb this is. I just gotta go up and show you. And of course you gotta get to them up here. So of course, up in the attic, you have 2 water heaters, or you may have one. They have these white pipes that, you know, drain out of them. But the big problem, not only is it the water heaters, those water pipes there, they get a corrosive kind of gummy material and they will back up, and that can cause issues. But here's the big issue with your air conditioning units. Now you can see here we've got a pan to collect all the condensation, and over in that corner is a little hole and a white pipe. That will clog up as well. And if you don't have one of these sensors right here, like I in my first house didn't have, this overflowed and just poured into my living room, and it caused a major mess. And did I mention it's only May right now? It's about 80 something outside, but it's probably 120 degrees up here. I've been up here for 2 minutes and I'm already sweating. So it gets toasty up here. Well, now that I'm sweating from being up there, why don't you comment down below at the end of this video, which one of these do you feel is the worst thing about living in Texas? I'm curious to know. And if you've heard of something else, let me know. I'll shoot a video on that. All right, let's get in the old box here. I made this box. What do you guys think about it? Pretty nice? All right, let's go. What's up next? We've got storms and rain, my goodness. I thought I'd been in some pretty cool storms up in the Northwest, but they're like child's play. Wait till you see some of this. Dude, fucking hurricane wind, bro. Dude, this is like tree falling down shit, man. Now the next thing I gotta show you is when it rains in the South, it absolutely rains. Now last night it sounded like 2 Civil War cannons going off in the house. That's how loud the thunder is. But wait till you see how much rain, and this is 10 hours of drainage, and I still have standing water. I've got about 6 inches of standing water, and that's one thing I've learned too. You have a lot of drainage issues here because the clay is so hard that the water will not actually get away. So I gotta throw in a bunch of French drains, but man, this water was all the way up here this morning, and it rained about 10 hours ago. I've got all new sod, I got a ton of just standing water, but I also got those Crocs, dog. That's not even including the hurricane season, and it's almost unexplainable. If you haven't been in a storm down here in the South, it's going to rock your world the first time. It's kind of fun to watch and see, but they can be very damaging. Now, one other thing that drives me nuts about how hard it rains is that you'll notice it splatters things everywhere. So if you have that fresh bark, fresh dirt, fresh anything down, it's going to absolutely obliterate it and throw it all over your fence, your driveway, or whatever. All right, let's get after these. I'm having a lot of fun right now. Okay, what is it? Oh, property taxes. I have learned more about property taxes than probably anything else here. I started saving a lot of money on my power bills, but property taxes, here's the thing about it. They claim that they can only raise property taxes whatever % per year. It's a levy system. But what they don't tell you is they can raise your property value to whatever they want. My property here since 2015 has seen 170% growth. You're talking thousands and thousands of dollars a month that you have to pay in property taxes, and I did not know one thing. Well, I did know that you could go fight it, but I had no idea there was companies out there that go fight this for you. And what they do is they work off of a percentage of however much money they save you per month. So if they save you $1,000 a month, you may only have a one-time fee of about $200 to $250. So you'll pay them $200, $250, but you're gonna save $1,000 a month. It's worth it. I am currently going through this right now, so I will report back to you guys exactly what my savings were, and the only way you'll get that is if you subscribe to the channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. One last note on the property taxes, if you do claim the home exemption, you will drop $25,000 off the top of that value as well. So there's some things that you can do to curb that, but yes, with 2, 3, 4% tax rates, you're going to get eaten alive with the property taxes. All right, let's scoot on down the list here. What do we got? Traffic and construction. Now, the most interesting thing about the traffic here is that a lot of it is localized. So the problem with this city growing so rapidly and being the 4th largest city is that the individual little suburbs can't keep up. And so what they're doing is widening major roads in these cities and suburbs. The 2 that are right by me, Humboldt and Kingwood, they're both going through massive, massive expansion and growth. That makes it so that there's a ton of construction and delays. The other thing about that nobody talks about, I've had 1 flat tire in my life driving around. Here in Texas, I've probably had 15 nails in my tires in just 2.5 years. There's so much construction everywhere you go. I am getting nail after nail. But there is good news to that. If you drive around Houston, Texas, just about everywhere you look, you're gonna see little shops with red and yellow tires out front. If you go to them, they will patch your tire for about $15. So you don't have to go get new tires every time, but over time that could lead to, you know, enough wear and tear to where you're blowing up tires. And traffic, it's just gonna be anywhere. See, I told you I'd give you a real perspective of somebody not here, but we're gonna keep on going down the list. The next one, oh, right in line, terrible drivers. It is a fact that everything here in Houston, Texas is over 2 hours away. Yes, even your neighbor's house is 2 hours away. So people are accustomed to driving. There's not a lot of walking, commuting, other than in your neighborhoods. But this leads to the most erratic drivers that I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'm a guy who likes to go about 3-4 miles over the speed limit. It's just how I roll. And even if you're going 10-15 over, you are standing still. Local Texans go about 400 miles an hour. They swerve in and out of traffic. They don't care. And that's just how it goes. Wait till you see two Camaros catch eye to eye. They're going to race down the street. Fastest, craziest drivers I've ever seen. Hands down. Comment if there's any state, city that has worse drivers than Houston. I want to know. Next on the list of reasons to avoid moving to Texas, let's get after it. Oh, this is probably the worst one. Nah, they ain't even close. Wait till you see later. Bugs and mosquitoes. Again, I think you need to hear from my wife. Now, I talk about those pesky mosquitoes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
What should they do about them skeeters?
Just don't move here. Just don't do it. No, just kidding.
Thermocells, and then we have the
love the
55-gallon drum
Thermacell.
for the mosquito spray. That's stuff
Yep.
that's really helped us out.
I think Thermacell, though, has been like the best. If you don't want to have to spray all the DEET on you, the Thermacell, you just kind of plug it in, or they have like a little thing you can like hook it on your shirt now. But I've tried a lot of things. Thermacell's probably the best because I'll get bit and I'll get like swollen face.
Poor
like,
girl.
Swollen everywhere. Like, should.
So if you got red ants, mosquitoes, you got to watch out.
Yes.
Ants, mosquitoes, look, they're here, they're everywhere. But the one thing that is so weird to me in Texas, there's so many spiders, there's so many bugs, and they just leave their webs and stuff everywhere. I've never had to clean them up so much like I do here. Here's a little clip. I can't even make this up. I'm actually writing out this video, and there's a spider right there climbing up my video equipment. They're just everywhere. So one issue that you have a lot, seems like every month in your garage, these spider webs, spiders. I've never seen it like this before. So what you gotta do is you get one of these off of Amazon and then you just go through and scrub them. Hopefully they don't fall and hit you in the face. Now, one of the scariest things about the bugs I saw here in Texas was these ginormous bees. Now, I thought they were murder hornets, but these ones are called cicada killers. Cicada killers are a bee that's about this big, and they do not sting humans. They only come out for like 2 weeks out of the year, and then they're gone. But the next bee had these big old dangling legs, and they would fly around you. You could see the definition in their calves. They're monstrous. But I started killing them because they were flying around me until I saw them fly up into this muddy thing. And that is what a mud dauber does to your house. So they're everywhere and they're giant mud clumps and they just do it all over the place. Now they do leave these ugly brown mud spots on your house, but the good news is you don't want to kill these. They actually kill black widows. The reason I found out is because one day I took a broom and I started beating down this mud dauber nest thing, and all these little black things started coming down, and I looked at them and it was a bunch of spiders, and I'm like, they were dead, thankfully. So I did the old Google machine and found out that the mud daubers prey on black widow spiders and they store them up into that muddy thing. So they're pretty good to have around because they don't mess with you and they kill all the black widows. All right, that's another one gone. Let's get after it. Get after it with another one in the box here. How many more we got? We got a few to go. All right, that is wild hogs. So yes, there are wild hogs here in Houston, Texas, and a lot of times you see them on videos and hunting shows, but they're real and they're right in your backyard. In fact, just beyond my fence, I have multiple pigs. We've caught them on camera. I've seen them multiple times. And you will even be driving down the road and see dead hogs on the side of the road who get hit by cars. It's not like they're running rampant and eating people, but they do destroy yards. My neighbor's house just down the street had a whole group of wild hogs come through, and what they like to do is root through all of your bark, all of your dirt, and your grass and sod, and they look for bugs. It will leave your yard an absolute mess. Now, they're definitely in certain areas more than others, but I've seen them all around Houston, especially in the wooded areas. These animals you can hunt 24/7 around the clock with no limit, and it can be quite enjoyable sometimes because I'm an avid hunter, but hey, we're here to talk about annoying things, right? The next one is contractors. You're gonna be moving here to Houston. You're not really gonna have too many connections. We do as the top relocation team here in Houston, Texas, but with millions and millions of residents here, there's also thousands and thousands of people who start a new business every day. So you're going to run into a lot of different contractors who say they can do what they promise. But the problem with that is a lot of times is that they're specialized in one thing, but they'll try to bite off a little bit more than they can chew, and it can leave you with a very bad experience. So really vetting out contractors, reading reviews, it has been really big into who we choose to do any kind of home remodeling or even just yard work or patios or pools, that kind of thing. The best advice that I can give you is really leverage when you move in your neighbors and really talk to people about who they've used and see the work that they've done, because there's just a lot of contractors around here with so much work, and they may not be as experienced, and I have personally had some disasters. But again, since we're the #1 relocation team and we've got a whole list of contractors, make sure you copy that name, that number, that email right there and schedule your one-on-one call to move here to Houston, Texas. Just like 200 happy other families and clients. Next up on the list, let's get to the box, baby. Here we go. Oh, okay. It took me that long to get to the intense heat. Again, I reside in an area that may have upwards of 6 months of snow and winter and weather. So to me, the summers, yes, they're hotter than hot. You ever cooked a pizza at like 425 degrees, you open the oven and that thing blasts you? That's how hot it gets. And I've seen a lot of videos where like, well, it's not that bad. It's a month out of the year. No, it gets flat out hot. But here's some things that the locals won't tell you. And in fact, I gotta let my shoddy tell you again.
Hey, are you trying to plan a picnic in the Texas heat? You're looking at the weather app on your phone. Oh, 80 degrees seems like it would be a nice picnic weather. But then you get out in the Texas sun and it's maybe 95. It says it's 80, but that heat index is really what you should go by. Even though it says, oh, temperature is going to be 80 degrees today. Woohoo! No, it's gonna feel like it's 105. So pack your sunscreen wherever you go because it gets spicy in the summer. But one thing I have learned, we've been in Texas a few times, to be exact, wherever you go, bring a cardigan, a little jean jacket, because if you go to a restaurant or you're gonna go shopping, the air conditioning is always full blast, which is so great. But when you're trying to eat your food, have a nice time, and you're freezing cold, you wanna have a little layer to keep you cozy. That you won't need it outside, but you'll need it inside. So as you can tell, I have my makeup on and I'm a makeup girl. But in the summertime, you put your makeup on, you're feeling cute and fresh, you go outside, walk your dog, take your kids to the park, it's gonna melt. It's gonna come right off. It gets sweaty here. So just keep it light and fresh with your makeup in the summertime here in Texas. What are you doing? You're making me so awkward. She did it! I feel so uncomfortable.
Although my wife says she will not watch this video, she doesn't want to see herself on camera, I just want to thank her for doing that. And maybe you should do the same. She gave a real perspective. Will you guys just comment down below? Thank you, Jill. That was awesome to hear from you. And I will show her all of your love. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. We got 2 left here. Oh my gosh, what do we got? What do we got? I can't get them out. My goodness. There we go. Red ants. Oh my gosh, I forgot. That's actually my wife's worst one. So let's go check out the red ants from her.
So one thing I had to learn the hard way is I am allergic to ant bites or ant stings. They're fire ants here. They feel like little pricks at first, but I get swollen. And I know a lot of people get swollen, but it's to the point where you can't walk on your foot because it becomes like 10x the size of what it originally is. So just be like careful where you walk. If you see big ant piles, I know my husband probably is going to show you our backyard because we have some ant issues, but it is detrimental to stay away when you have allergies like I do because it'll wreck your world for like a week.
Now this is what I'm talking about. Just the other day, massive red ant nest there. I killed it. And just one day later, look at this. Okay, I wear a size 13 shoe, and now if I kick this thing, boy, look at that. And watch out, because even in the grass where you can't see, millions of these suckers, and they are so tiny, but they will light you up. Last but not least, let's get in here. It's just unbelievable. Snakes on a plane. Nope, they're not on a plane, but they are all over here. That was actually my #1 fear. I will not sugarcoat it. I was so terrified when I moved here to Texas. I was looking around on the ground everywhere I walked because I just thought there were snakes everywhere. It is pretty far and few between that you see them, but you do see them, especially in the wooded areas. Now, I'll just show you a little clip outside of what I'm talking about. Now, you've got incredible nature, and it's beautiful here in green, but it's almost impenetrable. This stuff will eat you alive, not including, I've seen quite a few snakes here. This is just, you know, behind my fence. So your backyard can be the woods here, which again leads to the pollen count, but there's wild hogs in here, deer everywhere, snakes galore. So it can get a little dicey in here. Now, I'll be brutally honest, the #1 fear factor I had moving here was the snakes. That was it, bottom line. And I just remember moving here and looking on the ground. Everywhere I walked, I was like, there's snakes everywhere. I never even saw one for the first year and a half. You would see some kind of in the bayous or something swimming, but they're not here to mess with you. Yes, I've seen a couple in my yard. And then I learned something from the old locals around here. See, you gotta memorize one thing about the snakes. If red touches black, it's a friend of Jack. If red touches yellow, it'll kill a fella. And the one I had in my pool, that red was all up in that yellow. It was a deadly snake. But then I found out it's virtually impossible for a coral snake to bite you. You'd basically have to get it right there in the webbing, and you would have to force it to do that. But still, scary as can be. Woke up one morning and had a coral snake right here in the pool. My nephew was playing hide and go seek, decided to hide behind that tree. He looked right into that sago palm, and there was a copperhead snake. In fact, we got a local legend around here. We got, between my two neighbors here, they've seen this like 50-inch black snake, but apparently this is the one thing I've learned. They're very good to keep around. Now, they're not poisonous, but they do eat rattlesnakes and copperheads, and all of those poisonous snakes is their favorite meal, so they're very good to keep around. They're just disgusting, though. But wait, there's more. This just got put in here, and you guys are never gonna guess what it is. You might be asking yourself, well, why the hell are you living there? Because Texas kicks a double money. I love Texas. It was the best decision that my family and I have made. Texas people, you guys rock and you have life figured out because all you care about is taking care of other people and your country. So I'm all about it. Plus, with all the things to do here and all the incredible states to the south, I can dig it. Oh, and I come from North Idaho. It's May. My family's still shoveling their driveway with snow. I'm over the snow. We're having pool parties all winter long, baby. Let's go. And the food and the culture and the people and just Texas is the shit. But one of the cities in Houston, Texas got named the #1 city to live in America, and it had negative side effects. So if you want to see why, check out this crazy video right here.